Okay, here we are on day 16 of the Craft Beer Advent Calendar for 2021. If you haven't already opened your beer, now is a good time to pause this video. Okay, day 16. Let's get into this. Tightly wrapped. It is the Berghoff Kolsch from Drayman's Brewery. Okay, so this beer is a Kolsch, which means you want to drink it reasonably cold, around 4 degrees. It's probably the right temperature. It is a hybrid beer, so it is brewed with ale yeast, but using lager techniques. And what that means is it drinks kind of like a lager or a pilsner, but tastes a little bit more like an ale. Alright, that looks beautiful. The Berghoff Kolsch from Drayman's Brewery. So the Berghoff comes in at 4%, so it is quite a light, sessionable sort of beer, traditionally brewed in Cologne in Germany. Drayman's prides themselves on brewing in the most traditional German style possible. And they've gone to great lengths to put as much tradition into this beer as they possibly could. On the colour, as you see, really light colour, perfectly clear, and slight sort of medium carbonation, very thin head, but it's perfectly pure white. And on the nose, I'm actually smelling pear, which is interesting. So you'll be expecting a slight pear or apple fruitiness on the nose, and that's definitely giving us that. I'm actually getting mostly pear on the nose. It smells great. Doesn't smell like what you expect it to smell. Okay, let's get into the taste. So there's a very crisp taste on this beer, and the hops really give it a bit of spiciness, sort of like a pilsner. It is very crisp and slightly fruity, very delicate flavours here. Nothing sort of overpowering, nothing too bitter, nothing too fruity or too malty, so it's really well balanced. The body of this beer is extremely light, so it certainly drinks very easily. That's delicious. So definitely getting some pear still on the taste, slight maltiness, sort of tastes very traditional German style malt. Very light beer, super sessionable. Well done, Drayman's, this is a fantastic beer. So I did manage to have a few words with Vian from Drayman's Brewery. Vian, welcome. Thanks for sharing your beer with us in this Advent Calendar this year. You were actually in the Advent Calendar last year as well, and it was one of the favorite beers of the entire year. So congratulations. I really do love your beer, and I think there's a lot of people out there who are also discovering a love for Drayman's.
Hi Elaine. Moritz unfortunately couldn't join us for the interview today. He is working on some bees in Sun City. So yeah, that's why he couldn't join. But yeah, first of all, thank you so much for the compliment. It is a difficult task to brew beers that everybody likes and enjoys. And yeah, we are very grateful for all the support we've had over the years and all our supporters that continue to support us through thick and thin. So
it really is easy to enjoy, especially when your beers are so competitively priced.
To brew beer at reasonable prices, it's also difficult. You know, we have a factory to run and a whole bunch of staff. It's not just Moritz and a few buckets anymore. Bring beer in a garage. So there's definitely some overheads to cover. So yeah, keeping the price low is also very important to us.
So I know that Moritz has been brewing beer for a long time, since probably the 80s. And in 1997, I guess Drayman's was started. Since then, the value and the passion of brewing really shines through in the beers. Which of the beers has been brewed for the longest time at Drayman's?
I think the beer that we are brewing the longest is probably, I think Moritz said, I think it was the Goblin's Bitter, was the very first beer that Drayman's produced. But I did found evidence of Drayman's lager in one of our old notebooks from 1992. It was a Drayman's lager. So maybe the Drayman's lager is our very first brew. Who knows?
And which one was the hardest to perfect?
To us, I would say the most difficult beer to brew is the Weiss beer. The Weiss beer is a very, very difficult brew to perfect, and to brew consistent, for that matter. To brew a consistent Weiss beer, a Hefeweiss especially, is a difficult task. I know some of the Greek breweries, they don't rely on yeast anymore to give the cloudiness. They add it artificially, but for us, we don't believe in that artificial stuff. So yeah, we keep it real, we keep it authentic, and keep the yeast inside, and keep it as hefe as possible. But yeah, definitely the most difficult beer to brew.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone has their own personal favorites. So I'm wondering, these beers are great, and I know that you do sell 1 litre bottles. Can we expect a tap room from Drayman's?
We have considered it. We are busy putting up a roof. Actually, the roof is already up. And yeah, we're planning to put some benches here at the back of the brewery, and do like a beer Friday or a beer Saturday, where we throw it open, and where the public can come and sit and enjoy some beers on tap. That's the end goal. But yeah, we still need the finances, but hopefully we can have it up and running, I would say mid-2022.
Awesome. Yeah, that'll be amazing to drink these beers on tap. Looking forward to that. Maybe just one last question, Vian, before you go. What is your favorite beer from Drayman's?
So yeah, I would say the favorite beer to brew is Weiss, because it lights up the whole brewery. And yeah, the favorite beer to drink for me personally would be the IPA. I think Moritz, he will go for the Helles, the Letzte Wunsch Helles, that we also not produce anymore. I know that was his favorite beer to down after a nice session on the track, a running session. So yeah, I think for Moritz it would be the Letzte Wunsch Helles, and for me the IPA.
Vian, thanks for joining us. It's been awesome chatting to you, and thanks again for your awesome Drayman's beers. Cheers, man. Cheers to a new brew.